Before the galaxy knew her name, one woman descended into the heart of darkness to stop a threat no army could face. This is the story of Metroid.
The dropship hissed as it touched down. Dust swirled into the air, and silence returned. Samus stepped out into the emptiness, her power suit gleaming against the pale rocks. Zebes, a planet of memories and ghosts. She had lived here as a child after Ridley, a dragon-like commander of the space pirates, murdered her family. The Chozo took her in, taught her to survive, trained her to fight. Now, the child returns as a warrior. Her visor scanned for signals. Nothing. No comms, no heat, no life. But instinct told her otherwise. Something was watching, waiting. Samus advanced into the first tunnel, cold steel buried beneath stone. She recognized the curve of the archways, the Chozo architecture half consumed by moss and rot. This was once a place of learning. Now it was a tomb. No path forward was marked, no beacon lit her way, but she moved forward, descending deeper toward a name etched in Chozo lore, Brinstar.
Brinstar was a labyrinth of metal vines and living stone. Here, machines had fused with nature, not in harmony, but in grotesque survival. The roots of ancient trees burst through grated floors. Rusted Chozo statues stared blankly, their messages long lost. Samus discovered her first upgrades hidden in shrines. Morph ball, missiles, bombs, relics of her Chozo legacy. Each one not only unlocked new areas, but echoed lessons from her youth. Enemies emerged, crawling biomechanical hybrids clinging to ceilings, swarms of watchers that flitted between shadows. They tested her reflexes, measured her strength. And deeper still, memories returned. Samus saw the ruins of her former home, now corrupted, overgrown with strange fungi, scarred by pirate machinery. Zebes was not just dying, it was changing. And something in its core pulsed.
Brinstar lay north there, a realm of heat and molten wrath. Lava surged beneath steel walkways. Fire hissed through cracks in the walls. Even with her armor, Samus could feel the searing pressure. Here, survival was a calculation. Timing jumps between platforms, navigating collapsing bridges, evading heat-seeking organisms that fed off the lava itself. She found the Varia suit, a Chozo armor expansion that shielded her from extreme temperatures, a gift from the past, allowing her to face the present. But Norfair had guardians. Massive fire beasts defended core chambers. Samus battled them not only with firepower, but by learning their patterns, dancing through flame to strike. At the edge of this inferno, doors sealed with space pirate tech began to stir. The captains had taken notice.
Crowd waited in a vast underground chamber. He was a beast the size of a starship, armored in spikes, with eyes that glowed like dying suns. The floor shook with each step. The ceiling cracked as he rose. He didn't roar. He exhaled, a death wind that knocked Samus off her feet. The battle was brutal. Missiles struck scales. Gouts of bile and razor spines flew across the room. Samus ducked, rolled, fired. Cried surged forward like a mountain alive. Only by targeting his exposed mouth, a weak spot revealed in rage, did Samus bring him down. The final missile silenced him. The ground stopped trembling. Samus stood over the fallen Titan. No joy, no vengeance, only a step closer to her goal.
The pirate research wing pulsed with life,
Cold, sterile corridors filled with traps, turrets, and sensor drones. At its heart, Ridley, the murderer of her family. Ridley wasn't a brute, he was a tactician. He studied his prey, he waited. And when Samus reached him, he struck with calculated fury. The fight was personal. Ridley flew, slashed, breathed fire. Samus dodged, froze, countered. Memories flared in her mind. Screams, flames, the helplessness of childhood. But she was not that child anymore. A missile to the chest, a charged beam to the wing, a final blast as Ridley shrieked in disbelief. He fell into the dark, his scream echoing through the tunnels. Samus stood alone again.
The steel doors hissed open, and silence followed. Samus stepped into Torian, the core research chamber of the space pirates. Cold, clinical, and soaked in the faint hum of containment fields. It was different from Brinstar's ruins or Norfair's heat. This place wasn't wild. It was organized, and that made it worse. Tubes lined the walls, many shattered. Inside had been Metroids, some still alive, some long dead, some still hungry. Without warning, they came. The Metroids descended like spectral jellyfish, transparent, pulsing, and glowing with bioelectric fury. One latched onto a visor. Samus staggered, energy draining fast, alarms blaring. She launched a bomb mid-roll, barely escaping. This wasn't a battle, it was survival. With every corridor, more Metroids appeared, faster, smarter, more aggressive. Each one seemed drawn to her movement, her warmth, her heartbeat. Samus pressed forward. Her ice beam was the only way to freeze them, then missiles to shatter their shells. Deep within Torian, silence returned, but not for long.
There it was, a massive jar, suspended in wires and fluid. Inside pulsed Mother Brain, the artificial intelligence behind everything, the pirates, the experiments, the Metroids. She wasn't just thinking, she was watching. As Samus approached, the entire room came alive. Laser turrets opened, electric rings spiraled, energy fields throbbed in every corner. And in the center, Mother Brain's single crimson eye glared without blinking. The room was hell. Samus zigzagged between barrages of plasma. She bombed barriers, dodged fire, and emptied missile after missile into the tank. Cracks formed. Then, finally, a shriek, a rupture, sparks, silence. But then came the worst part. Warning, self-destruct activated. Countdown, 3 minutes. Sirens screamed as the base began to die. Samus ran. Floor panels collapsed behind her. Fire burst from ceiling vents. Automatic turrets fired blindly. She had less than 3 minutes to escape the collapsing Torian. Her path was vertical, an elevator shaft filled with flickering platforms. She jumped, rolled, bomb-boosted, barely dodging closing blast doors and rising heat. The final door hissed open. Her ship waited. She leapt inside. Behind her, the planet's surface erupted. Zebes vomited flame and ash into orbit as the pirate base imploded in a blaze of electric death. Samus was gone. Inside her ship, Samus sat in silence. The stars drifted past her viewport. Her breathing slowed. Then she reached up, tapped her helmet, and removed it. Golden hair spilled out. Her eyes, calm and determined, gazed into the void. She was not a machine, not a myth, just a woman, a warrior, and her mission had only just begun. She came alone. No orders, no backup, no certainty, she would survive. But she faced the darkness, fought the monsters, and walked away, not untouched, but undefeated. Samus Aran isn't just a warrior. She is the silence after the storm, the light that survives the void, the one who answers when the galaxy whispers, "Help me." Zebes has fallen. The Metroids are gone, for now. But somewhere, in a forgotten corner of space, something stirs. And when the next shadow rises, so will she. Thank you for joining this retelling of the original Metroid legend. If this story moved you, inspired you, or brought back memories, don't forget to subscribe for more cinematic journeys into gaming's greatest tales. This is not the end, only the beginning.